Sean, in your 5-year forecast, what is the assumption for the state funding in years 2011 forward?
Yeah, that's a good question. The assumption we have in here right now is a 15% cut from the state effective July 1st, 2011. So basically it's a 15% cut right here, which is about $1.5 million a year in flat funding going forward. That's what we've had in there for about the last year. We've had that 15% in there. I've actually been weighing changing that here lately with the change in the governor's office. Strickland appeared to be a little bit more of an advocate to try to stave off cuts for public education than, again, just in my opinion, and from what I'm hearing also from other people around, but that there might be additional cuts even beyond 15%. So at one time it looked like 15% might be conservative. At this point it looks like we might even need to raise that to 20%, maybe 25%. 22%. I mean, every 10% for us is $1 million. So if we increase it from 15 to 20, you're adding $500,000, adding a $500,000 cut to that. And we won't know that obviously until we'll be into June before we know exactly what's going to happen. So. Any other millage scenarios or anything that you guys want to see?
Sean, just one more quick question. In the forecast right now, I'm assuming you've made provisions for the payback of the 5.071 that was already drawn upon, paid back over 24 payments starting in July 1, 2011. Is that correct?
Right. So basically, this positive cash balance that you see right here is an artificial cash balance, positive cash balance, because it has the $5,071,000 in it. That $5,071,000 comes into the forecast here. Comes out of the forecast as an expense, half of it in this year, half of it in this year. So it is in play there.
This scenario here, you did put in the reductions, possible reductions.
Yeah. If there's anything you want me to email you as we look at this over the next few weeks, if there's a particular scenario you want to see, just let me know. I can put something together and send it to you. These just happen to be a couple different ones that we've been looking at. So again, obviously there's a trade-off between higher millage on the front with lower increments, lower millage on the front, higher increments.
Is this on one sheet page or one page?
It's one Excel file. There's several tabs across that. I can send you the.
Right. And you can give us a one-pager for each one of those.
Right. I can do that. Right.
Would you do that for us?
Sure. You want each of the ones that we looked at?
Yeah.
Is there any additional ones that you want to see?
What was the lowest you went on the front end? Was it 10?
10.95 was the lowest I went on the front end. A week ago, board meeting a couple weeks ago, we looked at options as low as, lower again on the front end to 7.95.
What if we did not go with an incremental levy? What if you just went with a flat millage on the front end?
22.
Plug it in. This is probably actually a little bit high. This is 18.95 on the front end. There's 16.95 on the front end. The difference between this 16.95 and the one back in February was that obviously there's no recalls, like there's additional cuts in here. There's no recall of services. So basically this is a bare bones levy at this point.
Put
compared to the
Maine
one
go.
from February this year.
Let Maine go live.
Include what again?
Include this scenario.
Okay.
With the other ones.
Okay. I did have a comment here that our question was that the balance is only going to include the second round of loans, and the answer is basically yes. The bottom line cash balances you're looking at here would include repayment of all loans. So by the time you got out, right now you have in this forecast, you have a loan in this year, you have half repayment in this year, half repayment in this year. So by the time you get to this bottom line cash balance, really any of these out here, this is a net balance. So you've received and paid back all. If you have a positive cash balance out here in the fourth and fifth year, you've received and paid back all loans that you've gotten from the state.
The district had a $5 million COPS note. It was borrowed to pay back interest that was earned and spent. The note has been called in by the holder. They can't sell the note. So in order to pay that note, they're spending about $3 million out of funds other than general fund, which means they need now spend almost $2 million out of the general fund to pay for that note from falling. So what you're seeing here is actually $2 million better than it actually is.
Actually, that $2 million is in this.
Oh, you got it in there?
That should be.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean,
Yeah.
I had a question.
Sure.
I realize this is not the reality of the situation we face, but could you provide us with, unless you have enough, could you provide us with what the millage would have to be for an operating levy if we didn't have to pay back $5 million or $7 million? Right now, that's in that budget,
Right.
that's covered. You know, if we didn't have that, the district did not have that obligation. What type of, when we were just going on for an operating levy,
Yeah, we can do that. When I send you the specs, I can include one in there that would have,
It technically is in there.
it would not have one.
Technically, it is in there because it's in there in the 2 years of payback.
I think he's talking about you didn't have to pay it back.
Talk about skating on the state.
we didn't have that at all.
You're talking about you didn't have to pay it back, right? Is that what you're asking? You did not have to pay it back? Is that what you're asking?
Or if you never had to borrow the money.
You never have the first one.
Okay.
Or we didn't have to pay it
You've
back.
never borrowed it.
Remember, I mean, the reality is it's got to be paid back.
So what's the point? He's got enough.
The point is to see how deep a hole the community has now dug. Because when this levy goes out, people are going to cry, all they want is more money. The only reason you need more money is because you keep digging a deeper hole. Nobody's throwing dirt in the hole, they're taking it out of the hole. So I think it's an important fact. It's time, like I said, it's an important fact that needs to be in front of us.
3 mils.
Sean, for the next meeting, I'll make a small request. I think, everyone knows, as Mr. Bennett mentioned, that the district, what they spend per pupil is, a very reasonable amount compared to what other districts spend. And in the context of discussing what a future levy amount will be or what it will look like, I would imagine the school board will come to some consensus on what the levy will look like as long as it gets positive cash in the bank by the end of the 5-year forecast. Sort of I think what I would like to see, and I think what the public would like to see or might find interesting would be whatever millage that levy is going to be, whatever the ballot language says, in conjunction with whatever millage we already have. If you could put together a schedule over the next 5 years in Little Miami as with respect to just the school levy dollars, what is the millage in each of those years? And then if we could also show in whatever we talked earlier about the neighboring districts that are, I don't want to say poaching, but are accepting over their own students as well. What is for those 5 years, as they have levies in place now, what is the millage in those districts as well? And if one were to fall off all of a sudden because it's anticipated that they would have a renewal, let's have some, footnotes about that and that sort of thing. And the reason that I would like to have that is because, I think on the surface, no one can really say that the district has not been prudent with their money. the cost per pupil indicate that the district is very fiscally responsible. Their testing results indicate that they're excellent. So any metric that you would look at would likely show that as well. And I think the reason I want that is because, as Matt mentioned earlier, when people, since there has been some talk about dissolution, and that is somewhat outside the scope of what this commission's responsibility is, if people think that dissolution or merging, whatever you want to call it, is going to somehow lower their tax bill or result in less outflow for property taxes, I think that that schedule may fix that.
Okay. Yeah.
Any questions, comments on that? Thank you, sir. Moving on to the monitor's report, please.
The monitor's report, it's not changed much since the last month. The receipts are still a little bit over the revenues year to date, mainly because we're still living off the real estate taxes from July, but as we said, it's about the last month because the expenditures are catching up with it and it'll be gone. And that is, and the corporations again are in line with only what they have budgeted for their income for the year. Right now you see the receipts are right on target of where he expected. The expenditures are a little to the good, and that can change in any month. On the next page, the purchase orders are pretty much in line with what was anticipated. The salaries are within 1% and 2%, and fringes are within that 1-2% range. The staff hasn't changed. We reiterate every time the staff has not changed. The bank balances we have reconciled. On the very back page, we talk about the other funds that have deficits. Of course, we've got the general fund with the purchase orders taken out, the unencumbered cash balance, not the cash balance. Unencumbered cash balance with all the purchase orders intact is $1 million in the red. So their state money should be, their state advance of $5.1 million should be coming next week, just in time. And we have several other funds. Federal grants, a lot of those, they have received money over the last month, and there's some cleanup to do on some of the other ones. And we have notes also on the 264 project that is still there, that we will probably have to deal with in FY12 instead of FY11, because we ended up doing the cost impact this year. So there's not a lot to say, except that it is what it is, and it isn't pretty. But it's balanced.
Any questions? Hearing none, let's go on to new business. Resolution 019-10, personnel resignation employment